welcome back to Petal and Ash. I'm your learner Gliffy, and this is week 23 uh, of the Ramble, as I guess I'm still calling this. So, we have a couple of things to talk about today, and I'm just gonna dive right in. So, I think last time I mentioned that I do basically all of my Japanese study in the morning, in the early morning when it's nice and quiet. Um, And I think I mentioned the different parts I do. So, right, uh, for that, I think I've been doing quite well. Um, and for the most part, uh, while I don't feel that I'm making gains, I'm probably making gains. I am very much intermediate plateau area. And so it feels like nothing's changing. But the mornings I think are still going quite smoothly. Sometimes they go long. So if I have a day off, I might stretch out the time, maybe take a nap in the middle, um, do my audio diary kind of late, things like that. But overall, I think this past week has been pretty successful. So then, that's kind of the look back. So let's talk about uh, some things that have been happening. So I think the big one, uh, I'm using big one loosely, is Boon Pro. And by that I mean I it's killing me, guys. For lack of a better term. I have 19 ghosts right now, as you can see on screen. Um, I think at one point I had 25 ghosts. I don't recommend. Um, Although I guess, right, you don't get a choice. It depends on how well you do on remembering the grammar or remembering the sentence, depending on how your brain works. But I took a break, and I think I mentioned that last time, to focus on getting my amount of ghosts down. And I got them down to 15 before I started adding new grammar. And now we're at 19, so take that as you will. Uh, on the other side of the screen, I'm going to show Migaku, the kind of graph thingy that shows what I've been doing. And that's also been a little bit of a challenge. As you can probably see at the bottom, uh, I haven't been completing my reviews. Well, completing all of the reviews. I limit myself to 20 minutes on Migaku, and that's it. Like, I don't go back. I don't particularly force myself to do a second session. I do 20 minutes and that's it. And so recently I have not been completing all of the reviews. But I have been thinking about what to do for that. So I could take some time, I guess, and go, go big or go home and do 30 minutes or maybe just however long it takes to finish my reviews. Part of what's added that extra time as I'm doing audio cards, and I'll talk about this a little bit later too, but my listening is trash. Um, and I mean that totally and honestly. Uh, when I talk to people in Japan, I think naturally because I have like not Japanese face, they talk a little bit slower. But oof, native speed, guys, native speed. So then, those are kind of the time challenges and the like daily challenges. Uh, One of the things I mentioned last time and is now in full effect since it's June is I've kind of split reading and listening over uh different days. So I think Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do listening. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, I do reading. Or is it the reverse? It's the reverse. I'm sorry. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do reading. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, I do listening. Saturday is my light day. So, well, light in terms of study. And what that's led me to understand is, and I put this exactly like this in my notes, is listening is the devil. Which I know seems pretty strong, but my what's the best way to explain this is to get a little bit like into the weeds. So, listening is a pretty difficult skill, particularly pure listening. And I think I've mentioned before about like bite-sized Japanese or real Miku Japanese. Um and also I think you know podcasts, like those are things I listen to. Um and what's happening in some of these is there's not a lot of visual cues, or I'm listening to a podcast, and that's like good for you. You should do this. I'm not saying you should not do this. What I am saying is that it's, for me, it's difficult. And so what happens is I get unbearably sleepy. Like little kid yawning, rubbing my eyes, sleepy when I do listening, pure listening. If I'm like watching uh something with a lot of movement, or uh I guess generally just watching something, it's not so bad. But when I do something that's pure listening, I gotta take a nap. I don't know how else to say it. Um, and to be honest, generally I do just when I start fading out, I stop the podcast, set a timer, and clock out for like 10, 15 minutes, whether that's sleeping or meditating, and then I come back and continue. Uh Luckily, I can do that right now. I have the free time to do that, but I feel like I need to tighten up my mornings because um I have other things I want and need to do. So that's been like the big thing there, is trying to deal with this desire to take a nap. Mostly because one of the things to keep in mind is stamina. And so I need to build my listening stamina. I need to build my reading stamina as well. But my listening stamina is quite low, I think, especially for the level that I claim to be. And we'll go with claim to be in this case. Uh, and so there are some tactics to use. Some of them I'm thinking about putting into practice, like walking while listening, um, or maybe doing something with my hands like knitting, because I want to actively listen. So I don't want to do chores or something that's like kind of distracting. So I think that's the big things for my problems. Uh, what's changing going forward is honestly not much. It's the beginning of the month, and I kind of want to focus on just building my stamina in these ways. I don't think I need to take a lot of time to uh, change the system, for lack of a better term. I think the system works pretty well. Um, for this, as I mentioned, I do have the goal of N2. Um, I'll be doing N2 in December 2027. Uh, and so part of what I think leads to some of these issues is I do a study system. And I don't, once again, mean this in a bad way. Um, what I mean is I'm more focused on the system itself. So, like doing my reading, doing my listening, doing Boom Pro, doing Migaku, and not so much on milestones or results. And I think that led to a problem that I'm trying to rectify, and that is impatience, or anticipatory impatience. I don't know if I'm really like upset I don't have immediate results. I think more or less this system feels hard because my stamina is low, and that has made it feel like I need to do something different, even though I'm doing pretty much everything right. Uh, I know that might sound strange, but I do my reading, I do my listening, so forth and so on. And I'm probably just can't feel the improvement, but improvement is happening. And so that's one of the fun parts of being intermediate is there's not that great like I learned a new word or I understand this grammar point happening all the time. And in fact, as you saw from earlier with my ghosts, uh, I thought I knew this grammar point, or sometimes, oh, I just messed up a bunch of times and shit. It's been taken all the way down to ghost. Gotta get that back up there. So I think those are all the main things. Um, the last thing, and I know this is an accountability channel, so I don't have like a massive amount of viewers, watchers, subscribers, that kind of thing going for me. But I thought I would morph this a little bit back into an accountability journal and talk about my systems. So, the big one and the one I'm always talking about, of course, is Japanese. But I also have my exercise system. Um, maybe not a big talking point, but my sleep system. And I've been thinking about building a life administration system. So doing life admin. And I think I have two options. So I could make a sister video series called something else and put it out on like Fridays or Mondays. Probably Fridays, considering my schedule and my free time. Or I could attach it onto the Ramble. Now, I know I don't get comments right now, but that's what I'm thinking about. Mostly because I do want to add those things in. I think if you look at my like about, it says that I talk about those things. So you might see a few changes on this channel. Um, not big changes, just maybe an extra video day or I don't know. We'll see. Lastly, if you made it this far, the other thing I want to change is I'm thinking about adjusting my shorts. So, uh, as you may or may not know, I'm very proud of my cute little girl animation here. And so I'm thinking about including that in the shorts because my shorts are just kind of dull, for lack of a better term. It's just black text and then the audio wave picture. And so I'm thinking about putting my cute girl here either on top or on the bottom and not having it static, but like having her move as I read it. Um, I don't know if that'll be disruptive, but I might do a few videos that way or shorts that way to see if I like it. Uh, so sorry for the extra ramble about things I might do to the channel, but I wanted to get it out there into the world. So if you made it this far, thank you for listening and see you next week.